Well, that didn't take long. Steve Staios has flipped the 9th overall pick in the upcoming draft in exchange for William Eklund and a pair of prospects. Welcome to a bonus trade reaction video of Locked On Senators. I'm Ross Levitan alongside Brandon Piller, and today's episode brought to you by Odoo. Great organizations win because operations matter, and that's why you should get Odoo. Try for free at odoo.com/lockedon. That's odoo.com/lockedon. Pillsy, we had just closed our laptops after an episode detailing how they could get value out of the 9th overall pick, and it's speedy Stevie Staios wasting no time making the trade happen.
Ross, I don't know about you, but I have a futon couch set up in my podcast studio. I think I might just camp out here and just sleep here, eat all my meals here, because it seems like we're not leaving these rooms the last 72 hours. It's been wild turn of events for the Ottawa Senators, and we literally just did an episode of Locked On Senators podcast today. Segment 2 was premiering live as this trade dropped with trade targets for 9th overall, and William Eklund was not a guy we had on our radar, and it happened very quickly. Again, credit to Steve Staios. He's keeping things tight. There was not rumors about Eklund. It seems like these two teams are talking. It was just, this trade's happening. Here it is. And this is a really nice deal, Ross. William Eklund wasn't a guy that I was particularly really familiar with, and maybe it's just the rose-colored Ottawa Senators glasses. Now that he's a part of the team, I'm more positive about him. But the more I look into him, the more stats I read, the more reports I read, the more highlights I watch, I'm starting to think that this was a really great deal, and this is a player that's going to fit in very well on this roster.
Yeah, I think so too. He's very, very, very speedy, very high IQ player, and he put up really good numbers last year in San Jose at 15 goals and 53 points. That's after 58 points in the year prior. You don't look at the plus minus plays on the San Jose Sharks, so not great. But I do really like the concept and what you're thinking about bringing in a player. This guy, to me, could play with Tim Stützle. I think he could keep up with him. I think he's got the IQ that could match Tim Stützle, and I think that the Sens aren't done. Let me put it that way. I don't think this is a final move, but I do really like the targeting of this player who is starting a 3-year bridge deal this year, and then he's still an RFA afterwards, so you still have his rights. He was the 7th overall pick, by the way, in 2021. So the developmental time has already taken place. He's obviously a top 6 NHLer now, and you're trading away the 9th overall pick in this draft. I think the cherry on top, because I tweeted out right when we found out it was Eklund, but didn't know the return yet. I was like, I really like the player, but I don't know if that's the guy with 9th overall. Of course, Steve Staios would have a better idea of who was realistically available. I doubt many of the guys who we spoke about today for the 9th overall pick are available. So then when you take that into account, that's one thing. But the other thing, and we'll get to this more later in the show because I want to focus on William Eklund.
Yep.
This Kasper Halttunen guy, he's a goal scorer. And Belleville needs a ton of help, and he's still 22 years old this summer, so he'll play his 22-year-old season next year. He's a winner, won the Memorial Cup. I actually just reached out to Blake Montgomery, his teammate with the London Knights, who they won together with. By the way, he had 15 goals in 17 playoff games that year with London. And if you look at every level he's played at, he scores goals. So big right winger, 6'4", over 200 pounds. We'll get more into him later, but
now we'll get to him later, Ross. Come on, let's get into William Eklund.
No, but I'm just saying this pushes the value up for me. This guy was the 36th overall pick. It will be 3 drafts ago, but 2 drafts ago. Like, it's basically William Eklund and a high 2nd round pick in exchange for the 9th overall pick. But William Eklund, do you believe that he is meant to play with Tim Stützle?
Absolutely, yeah, because one of the factors we had for Tim Stützle is you need to have speed, you need to play with pace. We've been loving NHL Edge, Ross. William Eklund, last regular season, 53rd in max speeding, 53rd percentile in max skating speed, 22.31. So he can get up there. 55th and 22 plus mile per hour bursts, 77th percentile in 20 to 22 mile per hour burst. And then this is what I like. This is more what I've been focused in on, Ross, is the 18 to 20 mile per hour bursts, 93rd percentile. This is a player that plays with pace. He can keep up with Timmy. He's not going to be slowing him down. And I know probably a lot of you are saying, look, we needed a goal scorer to play with Timmy. Sure, the speed is fine, but William Eklund, his career high in goals is 17. He's had 16 goals, 17 and 15. And I hear you. That's a fair point. But this guy is not strictly a playmaker. Look at his stats from last season. He was second on the San Jose Sharks in shots behind only Macklin Celebrini, who had 111 more shots than him. But William Eklund had 176 shots last season. And we reached out to our guy, JD Young, Ross, for Locked On Sharks. That's the beautiful thing about the Locked On Podcast Network, is we got local experts on all the teams around the league. I said, JD, what's your quick scouting report for Sens fans to know about Eklund? He says, great playmaker and facilitator. So this guy can move the puck around, but also had horrible shooting luck last year because of a wrist injury at Worlds. Good defensively and can drive play. So is this guy going to score 40 goals? Probably not, let's be honest. But I do think there's more goal scoring ability than what's been seen there. I think this guy can get into the mid-20s, especially playing with Tim Stützle, playing on a team where he's going to get top power play time. And I really see a lot of upside here. And then the contract that you mentioned is another plus, because Ross, another thing about his contract, he does not have a no move or no trade clause. So you're not stuck into that situation that you've seen other star players kind of use as a weapon against teams that have him. So the more I look into William Eklund, I love this move. Now, again, I think there is and has to be another move coming, but Sens fans, don't be disappointed by this. I think this is the type of move that you needed to make, and I'm glad Steve Stais got it done fairly quickly.
First thing that I had to go look at when I saw it was William Eklund, because you look at the points and they're good. Not exceptional, but good.
Yep.
How much did he play with Macklin Celebrini? Because Celebrini makes everybody around him better. Well, it turns out that he was mostly paired with Alexander Wenberg at center for the majority of this past season. 612 minutes with Wenberg, 250 with Macklin Celebrini. So triple the amount of time with Wenberg. So this is a guy that didn't rely on one of the best players in the NHL to just put pucks on his stick and score. I'm sure Celebrini factored into a lot of goals. He was in on like half of San Jose's goals overall. Yeah. But William Eklund, I think, is going to be a guy who can complement Tim Stützle really well. Now, I am seeing the chat. People are worried about the size. He's 5'10", 185 pounds. Let's be frank. Without Brady Tkachuk,
5'11".
Okay, put him on his tippy toes. Okay. But I think that we're going to learn the Sens are about to be built in a different way. No longer are they going to try to be, I think, overpowering. I still think with the next forward, you'd like a little bit more size.
Power forward with the next edition. Yeah.
But I do think that this is a very high-skilled player that you're betting on. Hasn't even scratched the surface in terms of what his output will be at the NHL level when he gets to be his fully matured prime self, which it's awesome to say that he hasn't gotten there yet, although he's already played a few NHL seasons. He has 252 NHL games under his belt. He's got a 0.65 points per game, playing on one of the worst teams in the NHL throughout his time with the San Jose Sharks. So I really like this bet on upside. And as I mentioned, the contract makes this even more palpable to me. The fact that you're like, he's not Brady Tkachuk. You're not going to get Brady Tkachuk. The trade tree has continued, though. But if he is on that top line left wing position, you've saved almost $3 million versus what Brady was making, which adds more flexibility for the next move that's going to come out afterwards. And like Steve Stais is not done. He's not done.
No.
And we know we love our Swedes here in Ottawa too. So I think that adding a Swede to the mix as well is going to be a real nice push for what this organization is morphing into now, where the reins have been handed down to Tim Stützle and Jake Sanderson. And I think William Eklund, a perfect complementary piece to be a part of this.
Yeah, totally. And obviously he's not that power forward, Ross, but it's not like he's a William Nylander where he's all just about skill and doesn't play physical at all. Like he hits. He's got 72 hits, 51 blocks. Like I don't think he's a shy guy physicality. Is he going to be a bruiser? No, but I think you're going to get that pace, good defensive play. He's going to facilitate the puck a lot. And I do think we're going to see an uptick in goals now that he's fully healthy after an offseason recovering, and that he's going to be playing with another playmaker like Tim Stützle. So I'm really excited about William Eklund, and I hope he takes number 7, Ross. He wore 72 in San Jose. Obviously, Tom Svoboda is there. He's a 7th overall pick. 7 is right there available. That would be a nice way to turn the page here.
Yes, and speaking of number 7, Brady Tkachuk has now brought back, as Sitruck points out, William Eklund, 2 first-round picks, a second-round pick, and 2 prospects.
When you look at it this way, you're feeling pretty good about it, especially Ross. 25, I really think, is going to be the main piece in the next deal that Steve Staios makes to acquire a power forward. And then you acquire another guy, and then you still have a first-round pick, a second-round pick, 2 prospects in that deal too. So the way this is trending, the return for Brady Tkachuk as it initially was made is going to end up making this team deeper and hopefully a better team.
I don't even think I mentioned William Eklund is 23 years old. He turns 24 on October 12th. So he's one of the oldest players in that 2021 draft class, which means he's pretty much the exact same age as Jake Sanderson, a little bit younger than Tim Stützle, but they're all in that same age group, which is another nice thing about this, because you're adding William Eklund isn't just a piece. He is officially a member of the core of the Ottawa Senators. So welcome to Ottawa, William Eklund. I know our friend JD Young over at San Jose Sharks has had him on his show multiple times. So if you want to go get a little bit of personality, what to expect from William Eklund, go check out Locked On Sharks interview with William Eklund. I think multiple of them, if I'm not mistaken. So very, very exciting to add William Eklund to this group. One more note on William Eklund, and I'm not leading with this. I'm not Pierre Dorion, but I'm pretty sure him and Fabian Zetterlund are best friends. So I'm sure he'll be happy to be reunited with him. And growing up in Sweden, you know he's going to be excited to have Daniel Alfredsson as a member of the coaching staff for him here with the Ottawa Senators. More on the fit on the other side. Plus, we'll take a look at the pair of prospects coming to Ottawa, Kasper Halttunen and Brandon, great name, Svoboda. You're listening to Locked On Senators, a special trade edition on LOSP, the Locked On Podcast Network.
Today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at Indeed. Workplace chaos can show up fast. Don't we know that, Ottawa Senators fans? But the problem is that finding the right candidate can take a lot more time than businesses can afford. That's where Indeed Sponsored Jobs comes in. Indeed Sponsored Jobs helps you reach candidates who actually fit what you're looking for based on skills, experience, and location. Finding the right person can make all the difference, whether it's building a business or building a winning team. I mean, Steve Staios went out there and found a player that fit, and he made an adjustment to the business that is the Ottawa Senators hockey team by acquiring William Eklund. And Indeed Sponsored Jobs can help you do the same with your business, connecting organizations with candidates who are the right fit from the start. So spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. That's less stress, less time, more results. When you need the right person to cut through the chaos, this is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs. And listeners of this show, you're going to get a $75 sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Just go to Indeed.com/podcast right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on the Locked On Senators podcast. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs.
Today's episode is also brought to you by Hims. ED is way more common than most guys think, and millions of men deal with it at some point. Hims offers a simple, convenient way to take care of your health by connecting you with a licensed healthcare provider online and giving you access to personalized treatment options from the comfort of your home. No awkward appointments, no pharmacy lines, just a straightforward process designed to make getting care easier. Taking care of yourself should not feel complicated, and Hims makes the process private and easy to navigate. It's healthcare built around your schedule and comfort. To get simple online access to personalized, affordable care for ED, hair loss, weight loss, and more, visit hims.com/LockedOnNHL. That's hims.com/LockedOnNHL for your free online visit. Hims.com/LockedOnNHL. Prescription required. See website for details and important safety information. Sildenafil is a generic version of Viagra. Viagra is a registered trademark of Viatris Specialty LLC. Hims is not affiliated with or endorsed by Viatris. Welcome back, Locked On Senators, a bonus trade edition. You know when news happens, come over to Locked On Senators like the 1,050 citizens who are in the chat. Pilsy, we're itching for 1,000 in the chat during playoffs, and now 2 shows live in the last 3 days. We've hit that mark in spades. So shout out to everybody who is as fired up and really curious as us about what this reshaped Ottawa Senators team will look like. Pilsy, William Eklund, the star of the show, coming over from the San Jose Sharks. And one other note about what this does for the Ottawa Senators. We mentioned the flexibility. I kind of want to lean into that a little bit more, because if you go to the Sens cap wages page, like we love to do, they've already got this in, and they've got $19.5 million to spend. Like, that's exciting. And they still have all these extra assets that they can go out and improve the team with. But you know what? I'm assuming some people are like, wait, how the heck is William Eklund available if he's so good? If you guys are gassing him up, why would they be looking to move them? Aren't they a young team that's trying to get better? But this is a pretty good trade for San Jose as well, based on their luck at the NHL draft lottery.
And Ross, what we know about the top 10, like now, before it was like, okay, what's San Jose going to do at number 2? Because let's just work under the assumption Gavin McKenna is going to Leafs first overall. Do they go with Stenberg? Great pro-ready winger that has a lot of skill, a lot of potential, but they need some help on defense. Maybe they go Chase Reed there, the top defenseman in the draft. That's an awkward situation to be in. Now they can confidently pick Stenberg, feel great about that. I mean, what a great second overall pick. And then with the 9th overall, the way we know the draft is likely going to shake out, there's going to be a good defenseman available for them. So then they can get their awesome guy in Stenberg and then still get a defenseman too. So this makes a lot of sense for the San Jose Sharks. And then you look at the way that team is built. You got Celebrini, Will Smith, Michael Misa. Like, they got those young forwards already that they can build around. So for them to acquire 9th overall, this does make a lot of sense.
Yes, it does. Any other thoughts on William Eklund before we turn our attention to the pair of prospects that came over in the trade?
You're itching to get to these prospects, Ross.
I got a hilarious message from a source.
We will get to them, but we can't move off of Eklund yet. We will get to the prospects in this deal, Ross. Come on. I like this. A tweet from Shang Peng. He covers the San Jose Sharks over at NBC Sharks and has a podcast. On April 17th, 2025, he tweets out, Eklund says he's an Ottawa Senators fan this postseason. So one of us, he likes the way the Ottawa Senators play and are constructed, and I'm sure there's probably more reasons to that. But
well, you know what the reason was? It was because Fabian Zetterlund had just gotten traded to Ottawa.
Yeah, there you go. Good call. That's definitely the reason. So you got to build a culture in Ottawa, especially Brady Tkachuk leaving. Whatever you feel about that, that's a big change in the way this culture was supposed to be. Bring guys that want to be here, that are playing with guys they like playing with, that are in the same age group as this core moving forward. Like, it just makes so much sense. And this guy's playing top line with Tim Stützle. Who's going to be on the right side of that? I still think it should be Batherson, Ross. I love the idea of Eklund, Timmy, Batherson. Probably going to play on the top power play. Basically just
he's not playing net front.
I was going to say basically replace Brady's spot, but he's not playing net front. That's for sure. And then, like I said, I know the goal scoring is underwhelming when you just look at it, under 20 each season in his 3 years in the NHL. I really think this guy can get into the mid-20s. He shoots a lot. Timmy's going to put him in positions to succeed. I'm very excited about this. You get the speed. Brady Tkachuk did not have that speed and pace that William Eklund's going to play. He plays a responsible defensive game too. I'm feeling really good about this. And this is a player that I feel like we're going to be excited to cheer for, Ross, watching some of his highlights, like that one goal he scored up against Boston that I retweeted. He's gets around the defender, gets a shot on goal, and then as he's falling, bats the puck out of midair to score. Like, this guy is sick. This guy is nasty. And the fact that he's turning 24, 3 years at 5.6 with no trade protection that he's going to screw around, and he's an RFA after. He's a Swede. Swedes typically like playing in Ottawa. You got Alfie. I know he wasn't on our radar and we haven't talked about him much, Ross, but this might be one of the better fits that we could have possibly found to trade 9th overall for.
Yeah, very, very smart player. And that's, I think, that with the skating is exactly what the Sens are looking for. And despite being a smaller player, he does play with a lot of heart and passion. He's not a perimeter player, and I think that's all going to fit in extremely well with the Senators. Fabian Zetterlund already posting on his Instagram story. The boys are back in town playing in the background with pictures of Zetterlund and Eklund having some fun. So now we're tied with one Instagram story each. One player put Brady Tkachuk's goodbye on his Instagram story because he probably didn't want to make the Team USA summer reunion awkward. It was Jake Sanderson. And now we've already got one welcoming the new guy to town, and could be awkward if Fabian Zetterlund does end up getting traded before things are all said and done. But for now, those two are teammates once again. Pillsy, you let me know when I'm allowed to get into the prospects, because if you want to keep talking poetically about William Eklund, I'm just going to sit back and listen. I am very excited about him, but there is also that second part of me that's like, I want to see the whole canvas. I don't want to see the picture when it's half done. Like, yes, he fits in, put him in there, top line left wing, but there still has to be another move here until I'm like, okay, the Sens are all the way back.
Yeah, but I mean, Ross says this is the first move. You got to feel good about that, because I think also the timing of getting this done, don't linger around. Don't let other teams sit there and toy with you and try to act like, hey, if you don't give us a bigger deal, we'll make you take that pick. And also, Steve Staios clearly has a great working relationship with Sharks GM Mike Greer. Like, they've already
former teammates.
Yeah, good call. They've already done the Zetterlund deal. Yeah, I don't know about that. Maybe
I'm looking that up.
I'll trust you.
I said it confidently.
You had me convinced in a quick second there. But clearly these are two GMs that speak the same, I was going to say language. Obviously, they speak the same language, but they are able to understand each other, and they're able to work together to pull off two fairly big moves, especially this one is certainly a big move. So that's good to see that Steve Staios is able to build rapport with certain GMs, and he's comfortable making deals with them.
Yeah, they did play together.
Okay.
2001, nice. 2002 with the Edmonton Oilers.
Well done. There we go. And I just think, Ross, you want to make that big move first. I think it's better to have traded 9th overall and get your top 6 forward from that pick right away. I think it's better to do it this way than to do the pick, the trade that's likely going to happen for the 25th overall, right? Like, would you agree with that? I think it's better make your big move first and then see how things fall after.
Yep. No, I'm very cool with how they played this. I didn't want to be holding those cards on draft night. Like, that was actually a worry of mine, is saying that. Like, I think now tomorrow we turn our attention, like, now that you've got the skill set that you've acquired with William Eklund, now how does that change what the next guy you're looking for is? I think that's going to be a good conversation for tomorrow. But on the other side, we're finally going to get into the prospects. I got a lot to say about Kasper Halttunen in particular, and we'll try to introduce Brandon Svoboda, who we've been going quick internet search here to get a little scouting background of Brandon Svoboda. You're listening to Locked On Senators, your team every day.
Today's episode is also brought to you by our friends over at Odoo. Running a business shouldn't feel like you're trying to connect a bunch of systems that were never designed to work together. You got one app for accounting, another for inventory, another one for sales, and somehow none of them are talking to each other. That's where Odoo comes in. Odoo is an all-in-one business management software that brings every part of your business together in one powerful platform. From sales and accounting to inventory and marketing, everything works in one place, helping your team move faster, stay organized, and focus on growing the business instead of managing software. The best organizations know that success isn't just about talent. It's about having everyone working towards the same goal. That's true in sports, just like it is in business. You want guys working together that have chemistry together, that all can speak together, just like the Ottawa Senators are trying to do right now. And that's the important thing with any organization. So we know great organizations win because operations matter. And that's why you should get Odoo. Try for free today at odoo.com/lockedon. That's odoo.com/lockedon.
Welcome back. It's a special live trade reaction show following the move to acquire William Eklund, Kasper Halttunen, and Brandon Svoboda from the San Jose Sharks in exchange for the 9th overall pick for the 2026 NHL Draft. And with that said, Billsy, Ottawa still with 25th overall and 32nd. No second-round picks this year, but they do have 3 third-rounders. My question to you is, if there is another move that will require a first-round pick going the other direction, would you rather trade Florida's 2029 first-round pick or the 25th overall pick from this draft?
Easy answer for me, Ross. This team needs to get better now. Trade that 25th overall pick. They're going
to get better now either way. It's just what's coming back. Do you want the prospect this year, or do you want to wait and just have it in your back pocket?
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. But I entice teams with a pick now, not a magic bean down the future. Give them that 25th overall. And I still think you probably have to move one of your forwards on this group. There's too many guys here if you're bringing another guy in. Now, I think this trade solidifies that Zetterlund's likely going to be a guy that stays. I think you could see a guy like Fogel be moved. I think that would make sense. Or depending on how much we're improving, other guys in the bottom 6 and even middle 6 too. But I think you move 25th overall. And I like the idea of being a little bit petty and betting that, hey, maybe by the time 2029 rolls around, the Florida Panthers aren't as good as they are now. And that ends up being a good pick.
Although it is top 10 protected, it would be nice to see that be like a 12th or 13th overall pick. I'm with you. I think 25 is the natural move, especially like you have 32. You don't need to make 2 late first.
That's the thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And you can take 2 of those thirds and move up into the mid-second round, probably, if you do have a player that falls and that you really do like. But I am comfortable. I will say this. I am comfortable going into draft day having 25 and 32. And then depending on how the draft falls, like what if a guy falls to you can't move 32, but what if a guy falls where you can package 25 with a couple of those thirds, move up a couple spots to get your guy? It just gives you different options. I am okay though having it on draft day. I was happy though to see the 9th overall pick be moved well before the draft, so you don't get into that awkward, are they going to make the pick? It's getting crunch time here. So the Senators, they do just that. Let's start with Kasper Halttunen, a 22-year-old, 6'4", 205-pound right winger out of Finland, who was a 36th overall pick in the 2023 draft. He went and played with the London Knights, and he made a mockery out of the Ontario Hockey League with his outstanding shot. I'm told he is one of the best one-timers outside of the National Hockey League. And I mean, look at the numbers in the Ontario Hockey League where he played 2 of the last 3 seasons. We'll get to his AHL numbers next. He scored 53 goals in 95 games. And in the playoffs, 32 goals, not points, 32 goals in 35 games. This guy is a shooter. And he's going to be probably on the top line in Belleville to start this season. He still, of course, is waivers exempt, so he can be up and down however you like. And he got his rookie season under his belt this past year, where he had 18 goals and 39 points, Billsy. I think this is a really nice secondary piece. Now, I will say, Scott Wheeler, I asked for a quick rundown. Big, fat, and slow with one of the best one-timers outside the NHL. If he can get to a passable level in terms of pace, he can be a one-timer option on a second power play unit. He has an absolute cannon.
Yeah, we're looking at a heavy shot here, Ross. I'm reading EP's 2023 draft guide page of him right now. Shades of Adrian Kempe, so
Okay.
you like that. Lethal shooter, hammer, raw talent. The first thing they say is it's not often that one of the draft's best shooters slides to day 2, but that's going to be the case for Finnish winger Kasper Halttunen. Like this guy's shot is elite, and I think maybe we're kind of looking at an Arthur Kaliev type guy where he's all about scoring goals and leaves a lot to be desired otherwise. But I like taking a bet on this guy. And if Kaliev isn't back next year, which kind of seems like that's the way it's trending, it's good to replace him in Belleville with the guy that has a shot. Like I don't particularly want to think or expect that this guy's going to be playing in Ottawa next season.
No. But Belleville needs to be better than they were last year.
Yep.
And you have the flexibility with this guy. Just signed, played his first year. So he's got 2 years left on his entry level contract. I like having a top option. Like this is probably your Arthur Kaliev replacement in Belleville, realistically, which is a bit wrong in the sense like we want to get better and it's more a replacement. And if anything, he probably scores less than Arthur Kaliev's league leading 40 goals, but he's younger and you get a little extra from that. So I'm happy with Halttunen being the pick. I mentioned his stats in the Ontario Hockey League, but you go back every year of his junior career, like going back all the way for his elite prospect page, like he's a goal scorer and you need those guys in your organization. So I'm really happy with Halttunen being a part of this trade. Brandon Svoboda, I know a lot less about. Oh, here's something from our friend Stephen Ellis. Just quote tweeted my Halttunen post. Said he's thrown some of the biggest hits he's ever seen in person. I like that too.
And I think that's good too, Ross, because I was saying he doesn't have a lot else to his game. Obviously, not that familiar with him. That's the nice thing. Whereas Kaliev, you're getting no physicality there, like literally none. So heavy shot, throws big hits. Like that's an exciting guy that you hope maybe can pan out the rest of his game. Maybe be
get Shelly Kettles on live too.
Big time. Yeah, maybe get some bottom 6 time in the NHL as a power play specialist for a couple games here and there, but also put butts and seats in Belleville. Like that's an exciting player to watch. So hopefully it helps from that perspective. But what did our guy Blake say about Halttunen, Ross? You were chomping at the bit to get to that.
No, I haven't heard back from him yet. We'll get that on
what were you so
show.
excited about? You said you had so many things that you were excited about this guy, or just the stats and what you've read so far?
The big fat and heavy guy.
Okay, because you were more excited about him than a top line left winger coming to play for Ottawa.
Yeah, I said sounds like Arthur Kaliev, and he said a little bit Arthur Kaliev, but he's meaner. He's meaner than Kaliev. He Finnish as well. Just we're sticking with the Euros in this trade with the most talented player coming back to Ottawa here is Swedish, and then you got a Finn here. There's also an American prospect that maybe you can teach me about. I'm still kind of getting my bearings on Brandon Svoboda, but seems like a guy where you have 2 years to decide whether you're going to use his rights or not, and feels like kind of borderline right now whether or not he'll get a contract.
Yeah, I mean, I could see the Sens doing it. We're low on prospects here. He played a couple seasons with the Youngstown Phantoms in the USHL, but that was back 2022 to 2024. More recently, he was at Boston University last season. In 35 games, had 15 goals. Then the year before had 15 points rather. The year before was also at BU, had 9 points in 33 games. But he was a part of the Team USA World Juniors that won gold 2 tournaments ago, and he had 6 points in 7 games. So he was a big part of that. So you're looking at a 6'3", 209-pound right shot center / right winger, 21 years old, February 05 birthday. Like, I think this guy's worth signing. And if he plays BU again, that's fine. If you get him in Belleville system, that's great. I think he could be ready for that. So, I mean, as a third piece of this, that's completely fine. I don't know a whole lot about him, Ross, to be honest, but I think he's an interesting piece.
Yeah, and just a fine piece. Like do we know where he's playing next year? It doesn't show up on Elite Prospects. Likely going back 6 points in 7 games, the World Juniors. It's a nice little tournament for him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would like for him to play in Belleville, honestly. I think he could be a guy that would be ready, and then that team needs talent. Like, he's got the size, so I think that's good.
Yeah, he's currently 21 years old, and he'll be 21 until next February. So we'll see if things shake out. Did you mention what they wrote about him in the 2023 NHL Draft Guide for elite prospects?
Nope, go for it.
The standard Svoboda game goes something along these lines: battling around the net, getting open inside space, hard work on the forecheck, proactive defensively, and one display of exciting passing. Some of the plays he pulls off are complex passes that require vision, confidence, and manipulating the defender to create a lane. Also has a powerful outside leg wrister, narrowing his stance and putting his body weight behind his shot. He was a third round pick as well, 71st overall in the 2023 NHL Entry Draft. So a nice little throw in the trade, we'll say. But William Eklund, obviously the star of this. And I just love that it's under $6 million for 3 years. Pillsy, like you were saying, let's get some of these old contracts. Yep. And this was one that was signed last year, but then it comes on and just starts to begin this season. He was signed last July 1st to this contract, and now all of a sudden it kicks in, and Ottawa is going to be the beneficiary of 3 years at $5.6 million for a guy who, in all likelihood, will play on your top line. So, tidy piece of business for Steve Staios, and he can't be done. If he's done, I got a problem, but I think Steve Staios has at least one, if not two, moves left up his sleeve.
Yeah, I think at least one, getting another top six forward, and then probably adding a defenseman as well. And then we got the question of backup goalie too, Ross. So there could be as much as 3 or 4 moves really left here. But to wrap this up, I think this is a really good first move. I like this. I'm excited to cheer for William Eklund. I think he's going to fit in so great in this room. Age, style, friends with Zetterlund. The contract's great. Like, this fits what this team needs.
And that's what Steve Staios says. The quote coming out: William is a dynamic and skilled forward who plays with a competitive edge. We are excited to welcome him to the Senators organization, and he will fit in well with our core group of players. So that's from the Senators general manager. Pillsy, any final thoughts on today's bonus episode of Locked On Senators?
I'm fired up. I mean, looking at our top 6, or even our forward group as a whole this morning, Ross, we both looked at it and we're like, sheesh, I don't know, like,
what happened?
This is tough, but this is a big boost, and I really like the way Steve Staios has handled things so far. Like, you look back Sunday afternoon, Ross, before this happens, and to where we are now, he's moving swiftly, calmly, steady. Stevie Staios, he's not panicking. He hasn't said any dumb, rash quotes. Like, we're just moving along here, and we're keeping this ship heading in the right direction. So, Sens fans, be excited about this, and I can't wait to see what number Eklund picks. I've already got him as a number 7.
It's not going to be number 7, Pillsy. Come on.
Why not?
It's not going to be number 7. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I don't think he's going to do it. But let's wrap up the show with a look at just that, Pillsy. We have this on our team Google Doc, and anyone in purple was a PTO, like one-way AHL contract. Anyone in yellow here is currently a restricted free agent, and the red are pending unrestricted free agents. But now we've plugged in Kasper Halttunen, and we've plugged in William Eklund. So this is how the Senators forward core is looking like within the organization right now, with more moves to come. And you're starting to see guys fitting in to where they need to be. I still think that there is room for Giroux to come back as well as another addition here. What are your thoughts as things are starting to shape up here? And even Belleville, like, slow and steady. They signed back at Olsen. They get Kasper Halttunen in this trade. Like, it's starting to shape up a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I really want that to be the top line, Ross. Eklund, Stützle, Batherson. That is a very good top line with 3 players that are dual threats, in my opinion. So that's what you love to see. Now, I do think Steve Staios needs to get a power forward. We need some size and a little bit of meanness, toughness, get to the net type player for that top 6. And I think he can find the right guy.
And we'll be here right when it happens. We'll also be here tomorrow on Locked On Senators. If you want more from us here, go check out today's episode of Locked On Sens, where we talked about our options for captain. Who's going to be the next captain of the Ottawa Senators? So go check that out wherever you get your podcasts, including on YouTube. For today, we say goodbye. Shout out the over 1,250 citizens here on a Tuesday evening in the middle of June, talking about the Ottawa Senators making a great move. The passion, like you don't get that in Florida. All you get is no tax, and you get to go in the golf cart to the rink, okay? This is the passion that makes playing and covering a team in Canada so special. The Senators aren't done, but they've made a major move acquiring William Eklund, Kasper Halttunen, and Brandon Svoboda from the San Jose Sharks in exchange for the 9th overall pick in the upcoming NHL draft. For Brandon Piller, I'm Ross Levitan. Thank you for liking, watching, listening, and engaging with the show. It's been a special episode of the Locked On Senators podcast, your team every day.